Welcome to the Sixth Hornet, the podcast for every Charlotte Hornets fan. I'm your host, Eric Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 5 of the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit that like button if you're here and comment below with your thoughts. Let's get right into it. You know why you clicked on this video, this podcast. We're here to talk about the man himself, Brandon Miller. Hopefully still can be an all-star, right? But Brandon Miller's shoulder injury, how serious is it for the Hornets? Let's talk about it. You know, Hornets are 2-1 to start the season. I mean, I should be 3-0, but 2-1. Brandon Miller, he's already sidelined with an injury. Like, what do we do with that? On Monday, it was revealed that Miller is being diagnosed with left shoulder subluxation. Yeah, that's a mouthful, at least to me. By definition, that is a partial dislocation. So what does that mean for Miller? How long is he going to be out for? Let's get right into it. Let's speculate. Because full disclaimer, I'm not a medical professional. This information provided in this podcast episode is for informational purposes only and should not be considered medical advice. I'm just a guy who knows maybe a tad bit about ball, and I'm here to give a casual opinion, very casual. Because I want to talk about Brandon Miller. So let's start with the medical review of sports injuries for shoulder subluxation. So according to sportsmedreview.com, quote, 50 NBA athletes were evaluated for injuries sustained from 1999 to 2018. In those treated non-operatively, athletes who sustained shoulder subluxation returned after an average of 3.6 weeks. Compared to 7.6 weeks in those who sustained a shoulder dislocation. In summary, shoulder instability events and return to play data has been recently evaluated and has shown that there's a very high return to play rate, end quote. So let's talk about that. So low end 3.6, well, not low end, I'm sorry. Average, so medium, whatever you want to call it. The average is 3.6 weeks. If it was a full shoulder dislocation, where we're talking about 7.6 weeks, so we're talking about maybe 2 months. So I'm looking at this 3 to 4 weeks to maybe a month or 2 months. That's how I'm looking at it. If it's truly a shoulder subluxation. Just that partial, by definition, that partial dislocation. So you say, okay, he's probably out a month, maybe, right? Non-surgical matter, let it heal, right? That's what I thought, at least a day ago. Then I wake up today, see senior NBA insider Chris Haynes report something. Got me concerned. According to sources, this is what Chris Haynes reported. Charlotte Hornets guard Brandon Miller is seeking a second opinion on his injured shoulder. Not good. Like, anytime, in my opinion, if you're getting a second opinion on something, it's never good news. You're getting it probably because you got news you probably didn't want to hear. What we know about shoulder subluxation recoveries is that it's not season ending. We just kind of went through that one article or review, medical review. It's not the be-all, end-all, but, I mean, they went across 50 NBA athletes. I'm okay with that. We're going to use that as our basis for what we're going to talk about today. So what exactly is going on? I'm thinking he could have some potential soft tissue damage that we just weren't aware of. Maybe the team doctors just didn't catch, which I don't know. That's kind of crazy. I mean, they are on a road trip, so, you know, when they get back, which, I mean, they're basically back now, but, oh, wait, no, they still have a road game. I'm sorry. They have another road game they got to go through. But, you know, I think at this point, I don't even trust that it's a shoulder subluxation. Like, at this point, you know, I'm always pessimistic about this kind of stuff. Expect the worst, hope for the best. You know, I'm hoping it's nothing, but again, second opinion. Why do you need a second opinion right now? It doesn't scream optimism. So, you know, you got a guy He's played well when he plays, but he only played in only 27 games last year. In his second NBA season due to a torn ligament in his right wrist. So, I mean, at this point, yeah, you kind of have to label him as injury prone until further notice, until we get some more news. But, like Miller looked good in that first game. I want him out there. And for now, you got to look at the starting unit and you have to say, well, it's been pretty strong in Miller's absence. Competition, albeit, hasn't been great, but Colin Knippel has been amazing as a rookie. Colin Sexton, great addition as well. Then you add in Miles Bridges and Ryan Kalkbrenner around LaMelo Ball, who's just, we say he's emerging. I don't know if he's emerging. It's just like he's got good talent around him now, but suddenly you don't feel too terrible. So, where do we go from here? Like, I'm still a huge Brandon Miller fan. He was the team's second leading scorer last year on a per-game basis, at least in those 27 games that he did play. I think this is going to be truly a severe loss for the Hornets' playoff hopes and just development around that young core moving forward if we end up getting bad news. But we won't know anything for a little bit, but we have to stay tuned, see what's actually going to happen, see what the second opinion shows. Maybe he might get a third opinion. I think he'll stop at the second opinion, but you gotta expect the worst at this point. Like, I'm not gonna assume, but I want to expect that it may be close to season ending, just because it just, with the timeline and what they thought it was to a second opinion, it's scary out here. I'm probably wrong. I'm wrong on a lot of things, but I'm thinking this isn't really good news for Brandon Miller, but we won't know until we get some more information. But that's a little update on Brandon Miller's shoulder injury. Sucks if you drafted him in fantasy basketball, but I'm more worried about real life basketball right now. So I think it is pretty serious for the Hornets, but we won't know until we get some more information. That's going to be it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the 6 Hornet Podcast. We are live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Take care, everyone.